All right, friends. So this is an update video for Titans League Silver. At this point, 2.5 weeks have passed, almost 3, and we are getting very close to the deciders to see who qualifies for Titans League Gold, which will be starting in August. This is just kind of a review. We're going to talk through a lot of results that have happened. There's been so many sets. I haven't been able to cover everything, but I'll be covering a lot more near the conclusion. So let's kind of go through the 11 groups, because there's 11 qualifying spots in Gold, to see exactly what's transpired. So there were some surprises, but in Group A, no massive surprises thus far. There were some good games from what I heard and whatnot, but right now we are looking at, this is not updated, Fire, the number 1 seed, versus the 4th seed, Blackheart. We're actually about to cast that series. And then 2nd seed, 3rd seed, Cloud Samaro here. Ultimately, the winners of those sets obviously move on to a best-of-5 decider to see who qualifies. Should be good. Very excited to see. I feel like any of these players could qualify, but Fire and Samaro have already been in Gold before, so I think I would lean towards both of them in their sets to get the job done. Again, in Group B, what do we have here? Well, Group B, we did have an unfortunate dropout, which was Seed 4, and then we also had a dropout later on. So basically, Hassan, who is Seed 4, didn't play. I don't know why I didn't look into it, but he's a really good player. And then Survivalist didn't have as big of a test in round 2, which I'm sure he loved. And so Survivalist is moved all the way through here against seed number 1, Say My Name. Say My Name versus Survivalist will be really difficult for a Survivalist, but anything's possible. And then we have Rona Tovi versus Target here. And I'm leaning heavily towards a Target Say My Name final here. In fact, I think these might not be close. This one in particular, Target, Rona Tovi, I'm not too sure on. What was disappointing in this group is that, so Cosmonaut and Rona Tovi, they know each other well. And then, wait, what happened? It was like, I thought one of the sets wasn't played. Maybe Liquipedia was wrong. I feel like I thought Cosmonaut won. And then, like, he just didn't play this. I think that's what it was. Like, Cosmonaut just said, I can't play. And that's what this 2-0 was. But anyways, that's the update on Group B. Group C. This is the group that I was in, and you could consider this a small upset, me losing to Cello. It was a good series, though. Apart from that, we've got a Seed 1, Uzi. He's been rolling. He's looking good. Nahuel, Seed 4, will be the underdog against Uzi, but could maybe make things happen. And then you've got Nili, who's looking really sharp, Seed 2. He's going to be up against Cello, Seed 6. In this group, with these best-of-5s especially, and having seen the players play, I think Uzi, Nili, strong favorites to move into a best-of-5 decider, which will be huge for both players. I know Nili's taken very seriously right now, so I'm expecting big things from him. In Group D, we've got Matador, Seed 1. He has not lost a game yet, and Matador's looked incredibly strong. He's going to be up against Antagonist. This is not, like, Antagonist is not LAN, which is super confusing because LAN is also known as Antagonist at one point. This is a Russian player, I think. I don't actually know all the details here. So I apologize for not knowing as much about this guy. I know his ladder rank is strong. Anyways, maybe it could be a surprise for El Matador because I think Matador doesn't know much about him. Big upset here, though. Dave beating I by Power, a.k.a. Brave Bear. Brave Bear lost 3-1 to Lix in the decider in previous Silver. So this is the biggest upset we've seen thus far. And this guy was seriously good, and he looked seriously unprepared for the maps and the strategies in this edition. So Dave will probably be favored here against a player from the UK who is Stake, which should be quite interesting. I hope we see this one because, like, big moments for both of those two's careers. Matador the favorite in Group D. Okay, Group E. What do we have go down here in Group E? So Overtaken, who is the favorite in this group, will be up against Alive. We just watched Overtaken beat Vivi, who's in Plat League this year, or this season. I think Overtaken is just going to smash everybody. But, you know, if he gets through Alive, White Court was also in Gold before. He's looking to get back there. Seed 1, Seed 2 could be interesting there. Salted Pepper did a good job. He's a Dutch player. And he beat Andre, so he was the underdog there. He beat Andre 2-0. And I know Salted Pepper, from my discussions with people, had put a lot of time into training, practicing things. Not sure if Andre was, but Anyways, that was a nice result for him, and we'll see if he can carry it on further. But again, I'm leaning right now towards overtaking White Court. We'll see. Would love to be surprised. Group F. Where are we? There's one big one, which is just going to like blow everyone's minds if they've been paying attention. It hasn't happened yet. This group is like really interesting. And I mean really interesting. So we have Kazva, who's the number 1 seed. He's been playing Lights Out Age of Empires. I don't know when Black and Monos play, but they're 2 Argentinian players who know each other very well. So that series in the best of 3 here will be just nuts. And I think Kazva will probably beat either of those 2 players, but they are really serious threats and have been around a long time. So, I think a seed 1 versus a seed 4 or 5 there could be fun. This, though, like Ozone. So I've done practice games with Ozone. I'm good friends with Ozone. Ozone's been looking good. He's been looking sharp. But he's up against Beery. And Beery, last time we did Silver, made it all the way to the best of 5 decider. He did extremely well. So I think Ozone Beery is just going to be one of the best sets I've talked about thus far. I think there's going to be a lot of nerves on either side there. And both are really good players. I think Kazva ends up being the favorite against all of them. But I think the preparation's really good for Ozone and Beery on this side. And I don't know about Kazva, so. Oh, apparently Monos beat Black 2-0. Okay, so it'll be Kazva and Black here. But yeah, so seeds 1, 2, 3, 4, all making it through then to the round of 44, which is the second to last round in Group F. All right, this group was also very interesting. So I did actually cover this series here. So we already know what happened. Tamate, he lost 3-2 to Dream, a.k.a. Husiel. So Dream moves on to the final here. It was a great series. I think the series showed me that Dream needs to brush up on his strats for some of these maps. The guy's 2K5 on Arabia and on Ladder and all that, but, I beat him in a mixed map tournament when I think he's a better player than me. Tamate, out-strategized him a couple times, and Tamate is a couple hundred elo lower than him. Dream, I think, learned some valuable lessons in here. And I've noticed a trend for him where his rating it hasn't necessarily translated into mixed map tournaments. So I'm hoping that he's currently practicing and learning some things if he wants to make it into gold. He's ultimately going to be the favorite. Here, we have Yax. And this is a Turkish player, and I forget, he was known as something else. I forget what he's known as. But I don't know how he's really looked. He beat the 14th seed, and then according to this, Carbo didn't even play him. So Carbo didn't give him a round 2. I don't know too much about Raven here either, because Raven, he would have, first off, he did beat Ezio, who's a good, 2K1 player. But Western, Raven's opponent, was only Raven's opponent because Jack didn't show. So, Western was a 1600 ranked player. He's actually one of the viewers. He was, saying how he gave Jack multiple opportunities. I don't know what happened, but Jack didn't play. So, this bottom side's a mystery for me. I do not know. But I know, having played, all these players, I think, Yax is going to probably win this. And then it's going to be Dream versus Yax. But again, a bit more up in the air, trying to share my thoughts. Okay. Is this the group? Well, we had some upsets in this that are fun to talk about. So, first off, Bad Koala has moved through, and it's going to be Bad Koala versus Cyclops. Cyclops is playing really good right now. Another Turkish guy. So, Cyclops, Bad Koala could be fun. I watched the games that Bad Koala played against Black Forest, who's that guy who's done some crazy strats recently on my YouTube. And he lost Nomad, and it's a crazy game, which is going to be on YouTube. You got to watch it. But anyways, it looked all right. But, an issue he had, which is similar to a player we're going to talk about in the next group, is he's a really good ladder player. I don't know if he's had any practice. He probably feels like he can get through without the practice, but we'll see. Anyways, this series hasn't happened yet. This will happen soon. John Slow, Mr. Slow Boy himself, he beat TQ or TK or whatever, a Vietnamese player who was seed 3. He beat him 2-0. So John Slow moved on. Unfortunately, the story does end there for John Slow. He lost 3-1 to Jibitong, who is JBT here. But yeah, we'll see how things go. I really like if Cyclops can beat Bad Koala, he can absolutely beat Jibbatong. But odds are probably seed 1 and seed 2 here, Chinese showdown, to see who qualifies. Okay, are we there yet? There's a lot of groups here. No, we're not at the biggest upset thus far in Titans League, but we'll get there. So right now it's looking like Stark versus Parawas. Seed 5 Parawas, who I've run into here or there. I would have expected he would lose to Stone Please because I know a bit more about that German player, but that's the series here. Stark, big favorite. Stark was in gold before. Stark has been there, done that in tournaments, and really shows up to play. But then here you have seed 2 and seed 3. Deeker going through Acro 2-1. Clement going through Doomster, an Indian player, 2-1. Or Clement, I should say, sorry, because he's French. All really like closely contested series here, it looked like. I'm going to lean a little bit more towards Clement here because he too was in gold before and probably has a greater peak than Deeker, but who knows? All right. Group J. Did I pass it? Oh, no, there's 2 more groups. Okay. Group J is stacked. I mean, all the groups are stacked, don't get me wrong, but this is going to be fun. So FedEx Gem Jack should be a heck of a series. I'm super pumped to see that FedEx is even playing this season. He's seed 1. Gem Jack beat seed 4, but Gem Jack has always been, I think, a greater player than Chaos overall. Chaos does prefer more closed maps, a more selected map pool. Gem Jack able to get the job done and find himself here. A weakness of FedEx has been he also prefers the closed maps. FedEx is maybe not as suited to the open maps. So in terms of sets that I really want to cast, I think this is up there. FedEx Gem Jack, because this could be like a best of 5 banger back and forth. Down here on the lower side of the bracket, we have this player is named Hope from Vietnam. And Hope versus Sizcon's awesome. Sizcon maybe 2 years ago came over from StarCraft and has been getting slowly better and better, surrounded by a lot of French players who have probably influenced his constant improvement. I think I'm going Sizcon there. Having played against both recently, Sizcon's felt really sharp. But again, what's the preparation going to be like? It's a best of 5 on mixed maps. I don't know. This is a toss-up. This group is honestly a toss-up. I think that FedEx is maybe the most vulnerable 1 seed just because I don't know how he's going to play in best of 5s on some of these maps. But he's a beastly player, so. Okay. And then the final group, guys. The final group, which will show us, I think on paper and also in my eyes, the biggest upset. It was round 2, and Eli, a 2K1-ish player from the USA, beat Ming 2-1. Ming was the number 1 seed. And Ming, when I asked Yo in person, was like, yo, who's the most underrated player in the world? He said Ming. Ming was 2,500 ELO, which puts you like top 30-ish. He was just winning all these Arabia games, playing very sharp. I watched through the games. Eli played very good. And I will say he was more prepared. There were a couple instances where it looked like Ming wasn't sure how to play the final map anyways that they ended up playing. Yeah, Eli came from community games, guys. If you look for Legend of Eli on my YouTube, it's there. He like killed, I don't want to spoil it, but he like killed a transport ship with a Treb or something. Anyways, it was Eli in Infoboat, I believe. So I'm excited for him. And I've messaged the guy and I'm pumped for him. 8 seed's going to be up against 4 seed Pella. If Eli can beat Ming, he can absolutely beat Pella. But Pella probably the favorite and is a higher ranked player than Eli. So who knows? And then here, Keyline, I don't know if he's known as anything else. He's seed 2 here, though. I got to do my homework a bit more on this guy. He's up against Prisma. So many players from Argentina in these brackets. Like, these were 2 Argentinian players. This guy's an Argentinian player. This guy's Argentina. This guy's Argentina. Like, you don't have to look far. The whole bracket's just filled with Argentinians. But anyways, that is the update right now. So I probably won't be able to cast every single round of 44, which is essentially round 3. But the goal is to next week cover every single one of the 11 group closers. And we'll see how things go. Oh, this is Z40? Oh, okay. This guy's Z40, who's a Taiwanese player. That makes more sense. And apparently Z40 won this series, too. Okay, good to know. I was going to say, who is this guy? All right, good to know. So yeah, that's the update. I hope people appreciated the update. Sorry I can't be like, hey, if you didn't see that series, go watch it. I covered it. I covered some of, but not most of this, but that was intended. If we're running an expansive event like this, it is just going to happen that I just am not going to cover everything, and that is something I had to accept. So that's the update. TTL. People on YouTube can leave comments on what was maybe the biggest surprise and who they're rooting for, and I'll keep you guys updated. Thanks for having interest and whatnot in it. We've got to move along now and actually cast a series, so we're going to do that.